Therapists, what was the moment you realized your client couldn't be helped? I arrived at 6 a.m. and got a handover and a heads up from the workers on shift. They warned me this kid was violent, but as far as I knew it wasn't anything I hadn't seen before. When you looked into the eyes of this child, there was a darkness unlike anything I'd seen before or likely will see again. It was obvious that the evils this child had endured had destroyed their soul. This child attempted to proposition me for intimate favors as soon as we were alone. When I tried to redirect the conversation to appropriate methods of expressing gratitude, this child shifted. They took a pencil out from under the desk and charged full pelt, screaming, "You're a sick man who likes me, you're just like the rest of them, don't touch me." This child proceeded to wound me multiple times before the other worker was able to subdue them. This same child was on a very unique child safety order. The terms of the order were a direct contradiction of the legislation and had to be signed by the state manager. This child was to be kept on site unless medically necessary due to the danger to themselves and the community. Once the escalation settled and the nighttime routine begun, the child asked me for more soap. As I approached with the soap, the child had peeled the mirror off the bathroom wall and hit it over my head before lunging at me with a shard. I managed to catch their wrist and disarm them while my coworker secured the debris. The child then swallowed a piece of glass and smirked at my coworker and I, knowing we'd have to take them to the hospital. Once at the hospital, the child ran away before even entering triage. This is where it gets interesting. In her safety plan there were 25 possible addresses the child frequented. A common behavior of the child was to exchange intimate favors for dope, so the houses we had to search for her at were filled with less than desirable folks. I received a call from the police to say they'd located her at a nearby service station. Upon arriving, the child had doused themselves with fuel and threatened to light herself and the whole place ablaze. She ran away again but wasn't seen or heard from for the rest of the night. That was my first shift with a child that had put 42 other workers on work cover. I worked with them for another 8 weeks before throwing in the towel. I had a mental breakdown and began intoxicating myself heavily for the first time in 10 years. I had begun taking prescription medication for the pain this kid caused me and for the mental anguish. I later found out he was born into an exploitation ring. I ended up getting fired for one day snapping at her and breaking her hand.